I'm First Alert meteorologist Jeff Ray. Wanted to hop back on and tape this at 11 for you because now Hurricane Beryl. Yeah, all the ingredients were coming together for this thing to become a hurricane overnight, and it will continue to strengthen a little bit overnight. Still probably Category 1 when it comes on shore, but maybe with 80-mile-per-hour winds, 85, somewhere between Port Lavaca and Galveston, somewhere around Bay City. It looks like where the eye will pass. Of course, it's this side where the worst of the effects are with the onshore winds and the storm surge on the eastern side, but 75 mile per hour in Category 1 as it's passing Houston. So Houston's going to get hurricane force winds. I don't know if they'll be as far up as the 45 corridor, but it will quickly diminish really when it comes on shore. So they're forecasting like 45 mile per hour winds by the time we get into the end of the day on Monday. So it's going to climb down from maybe 80 to 45 through the course of the time. But I think most of that will be happening in the first 50 miles of it coming on shore, or at least the first 70 miles, and it weekends. Anyway, so look how it turns, all right? So that's what we've been really talking about this whole time. This is how it turns. So let's run it now to about 7 in the morning, 35 mile per hour winds, but it is in Arkansas by then. So it's all over by the time we get to late night tomorrow night and into Tuesday morning. You know, I was talking about the storm surge, so this is where the big waves are, right, on this side of the storm. This is a surge that's closing in on 10, 15 feet. And as it comes on shore, that big pile of water comes right on shore. There's Galveston. There's the highest storm surge right here. So if this thing continues to do this trend where it's going more east, that would put the storm surge right into Galveston Bay. That makes everybody very, very nervous. So that's one thing to think about. Okay, so at the end of the evening, we're seeing the severe weather going on just off to our northwest, and that's thunderstorm watch that's in effect till midnight. The storms were weakening as they were getting to Cook and Montague County, so some big rains here. And this is what happens the next 12 hours. So the overnight hours, this all dissipates. We've got rain and thunderstorms around here in the middle of the night, but they're scattered. And then that coming up from the south is the rain band running into the outflow boundary. So this could be a little bit more interactive than we were thinking. And we end up with some pretty good rains here in the morning. But we'll certainly get some rain when the hurricane or the remnants of the hurricane come up from the south. This thing will have some very heavy rain with it. So let's follow it up, okay? There's the eye. There's the eye coming on shore. This is going to be, we think, somewhere around 4 in the morning already, the heavy rain into Houston, the flooding rains. And Houston just gets into that rain band and all sort of like, you know, the 5 to 6 inches of rain, maybe even more. And the eye moves right over Houston, so they're right in the big wind. And this could be still a hurricane or maybe 70 mile per hour winds, almost a hurricane when it moves over the city. Then it comes up the 45 corridor and it starts to weaken as you would expect. And I highlighted our counties, and you see right there, right, that Anderson County, and then maybe as close as into Navarro County and Kaufman County, in comes the heavy rain. And notice the time, this is noon. So there's all that heavy rain going on all day in the eastern counties. Not so much in the Metroplex, but about 40 miles to the east is this rain band that sets up because of the position of the eye and how it moves to the northeast. So that puts us in kind of that rain band most of the day in our eastern counties, and that's going to just pile up the rain amounts. So in yellow here, this is 4 to 7 inches of rain, okay, from Canton to Anderson County. This would be really bad flooding. Also notice that not really in the Metroplex. It's more like a ½ an inch of rain in the Metroplex. So guess what? The Metroplex is not in the flash flood watch that starts at 7 a.m., but Tuesday, 7 a.m. from Monday to Tuesday, that's the flash flood watch. It does include Hunt County, includes Kaufman County. So next 3 days looks like this. You've got a day where it stays in the low 80s all afternoon. The official high today will be around midnight. That's an 80% chance of rain. The heaviest rain starts to show up late morning, across the afternoon. In the eastern counties, it lingers longer, and then it starts to really wane. So 50% seems a little high, but 20% is in the morning, and it's over. I mean, the winds die down and it's over. So the high pressure ridges, remember, split apart just in time for Beryl to show up. And then this one from the west, where California is having this horrific heat wave. I mean, all-time record highs are being broke in the valleys there of California. This heat dome moves in and locks in over us. So what that looks like is that we get one day in the 80s, and then we are literally climbing up back to triple-digit highs by next week. This time next week, we'll be hot and dry again. But the big rain and the weather alert is for tomorrow. And that's because of the flooding rains that are possible. And you see temperatures right back into the mid-90s by Wednesday, Thursday, and then we are in the upper 90s, near 100 degrees by Sunday. The First Alert weather team is in place. We'll be here across the morning, be Aaron and Scott, to keep you updated on Beryl.